On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Good Tuesday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM channel 158. Gill Alexander in San Francisco this week. Kelley Bydlon back at the mothership at the VSiN Studios, Circa Resort Casinos. What's happening, man?
Not a mucho. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. San Francisco, man. I don't know. Again, you guys should really check it out sometime.
I don't know. You're really missing out, man. You're really missing out. It's been like, mid 100s degrees here. It's like 103. It's just great. It's just great. It's a good feeling when you just run some really simple errands in the afternoon and you're so exhausted by the end of it. You just have to sit down. It's really sad.
That sounds terrible. It really does. I don't miss that for a second. But I'll be back soon. Today on the show, Sheehan joins us talking Major League Baseball, including, of course, the Red Sox 14-game winning streak, all cozied up in the month of July, which means a little something for some of us around here. Drew Dinsick, I don't know what we're going to talk to Drew about. Probably his recap of the Tour de France of the World Cup, but also maybe some Tour de France bets if he has any for us. NBA, NFL, I don't know. It's potluck with Drew. Michael Montesano's got some college football for us as well, a few futures. Looking forward to talking to him. And then later, Mark Borchard, base winner, off his unbelievable handicap of the home run derby last week, which must be discussed one more time. Just ridiculous how well he performed in that.
Right.
Absolutely was incredible. Had 3 of the 4. He made 3 bets. All 3 got to the semis. And then we cashed on Jordan Walker, which was just awesome. We'll also look at some other things, including number 1 seeds in Major League Baseball, playoff odds in Major League Baseball. We'll do a bunch of that. I'll get to the Red Sox here momentarily, and we'll get to the tennis plays because all the tennis plays have already started for subscribers, vsin.com/pick. So we'll review those here momentarily. But before we do anything else, Kelley, we had an assignment here at VSiN. All the on-air folks, I believe, did when I was gone. And I wanted to sort of run through these, and I'd like for you to grade mine because we had an assignment of doing, and I think this is a great idea that Steve Cohen came up with, right? Mm-hmm. 30-second sort of evergreen betting tips that I guess will run during breaks, I suppose. On different platforms. You did yours already?
Yep, did mine last week or the week before. It was it was great. Those have been recorded, and I will grade yours now. Yeah, if you want me to do that. Would you like a letter grade? Would you like stars? How do you want me to do this? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to make it up as I go. Never mind. Why would I ask you?
You make it up as you go. By the way, I heard you did. The one that I heard that you did was Wong teasers. Yeah, you did that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Are mine already airing? Did you already hear them? Yeah, I did.
No.
Key numbers in football. I mean, I'm sure. I wanted to be one of the first people. This might be why Gil's laughing already. I wanted to be one of the first people, Gill, because I knew there were some low-hanging fruit ones that a lot of people would gravitate to. So I did key numbers in football. Hey, all this stuff is very important. Might be low-hanging fruit, but it's very important. Key numbers in football. Wong teasers, which is kind of hand in hand, right? Live betting for basketball, kind of off shooting percentages like me and you have talked about for years and years and years over on Primetime Action and this fine program. And kind of futures when we're talking NFL futures about making kind of calendar notes of when stuff starts to change as far as tougher schedules or easier schedules. Might be times to buy in then.
Okay. She told me, Stephanie, the great Stephanie Kamershak, told me that you did Wong teasers, and my response was, "Oh, of course he did." That's the first thing that came out of my mouth. Okay, so usually I don't write these down. Usually we do these off the cuff, but because I have a tennis court scheduled at 10:30, and I'm supposed to do these at 10:15, I wanted them written, so I didn't want any mess ups. So here we go. Here's the first one. You ready to grade it?
Let's go.
This is inspired. This was just because we talked about this yesterday. So if you missed yesterday's show, not quite as evergreen as I'd like, but here you go. When betting MLB individual awards like MVP or Cy Young, keep in mind that the team record of the player you're considering matters. Only 8 Cy Young Award winners out of 52 since the year 2000 played for teams that finished below 500, and only 6 of 52 MVPs in both leagues since the turn of the century played for losing teams, 2/3 of whom were named Ohtani and Trout, widely considered the best players in baseball at the time of their 4 collective wins. As the numbers indicate, that doesn't mean such occurrences never happen, but just make sure you're aware that otherwise seemingly great bets can often be torpedoed by a bigger picture largely out of the player's control.
Yep, really like it. I'm glad we discussed this yesterday and kind of dove deeper on them to give that 4 out of 5 stars, Gill Alexander. 4 out of 5 stars. Because it's not the most important thing, but I think it's something that people need to keep in mind more than they are.
Okay, then inspired by your Wong teaser low-hanging fruit thing, you ready?
Yeah.
The parlay, a betting vehicle in which you almost certainly are not getting the best available price on each leg, is not good for bettors, and with the advent of same-game parlays or SGPs, where the math doesn't math, getting even worse. The rise of the prediction markets and the betting exchanges have made parlays even more nonsensical because you should be able to get minimal juice betting the day of the game on sides. The exceptions, parlays are good when you get a payout that's greater than you typically would get, when you play correlations, to circumvent limits, or to look stupid to books in an effort to avoid being flagged as sharp.
Just a standing round of applause. A+, Gill Alexander.
Thank you.
A+.
Thank you very much. All right, last one. Ready?
Yeah.
By the way, this is the type of thing, like in the middle of September, we would never repeat on the show, but it's July, for God's sakes. Let's eat some innings with these, right? These are good. Okay, last one. This has to do with prediction markets, and this is inspired by the fact that I keep getting asked this, and I keep botching it in trying to articulate it on air. So here you go. Okay, goes like this. Get to it. Where am I? Okay. Sportsbook handle does not equate to prediction market volume. While handle is the total amount wagered by all bettors on a specific market at a book, volume at prediction markets measures the total value of all contracts bought and sold plus any in-game exits. So while a $100 bet at a book is $100 in handle, a trader who buys $100 in shares at a prediction market and later sells them to another for $100 gets logged as $200 in volume, even though only $100 of net capital is used. A quick hack to convert prediction market volume to handle is to divide by 2 to account for patron to market maker trades, but is no doubt more once you factor in patron to patron trades.
Yeah, this is solid stuff. This is really important information if you are betting on the prediction markets. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, though, because I just drove off the road as you were explaining that in the car.
I thought that was you know what, though? You know what that proves? You can't concisely explain that in 30 seconds.
And you know what else it does? I think I think it was a great explanation. What it needs is visuals on top of it. I don't, for radio promos, I don't know, just don't know.
Anyway, now to the good stuff. For VEASAN subscribers at VEASAN.com.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. VEASAN.com/pick. Subscribers get these on the overnight. The Tennis Blaze, which did get put in this morning. Bill 80, by the way, our co-founder here at VEASAN, and COO, I believe, is his actual living title on the. Oh,
shortchange him, CEO.
Oh, is he CEO?
Yeah, man.
I don't know what he's the co-founder, for God's sakes. Mm-hmm. Bill does white glove service for me. God bless him. He puts in the plays for me. And he said, we got so sidetracked with that text exchange about the Netflix docuseries Quarterbacks that I forgot to put in the tennis plays. So he apologizes for yesterday. Today, though, he got it done. By the way, have you seen Quarterbacks? It's better than Hard Knocks.
No, not yet.
It's much better.
Yeah? Let me put, you and I have had the Hard Knocks conversation before. You know where I stand on it. I saw what Quarterbacks last year. How many years have they been doing this now? Is this the third season?
I think it's the third.
Third season?
Yeah,
okay, so I think I saw the first. I don't know that I watched last season at all, but I would definitely be more likely to check in on this, Gill, than the Hard Knocks.
I think I did the exact same thing you did. I think I saw the first season, then I missed last year. This year, it's Joe Flacco. It's 4 quarterbacks. Okay. It's Joe Flacco, Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, and Cam Ward. And I get the extra benefit of watching it with Deborah Song, fashion stylist. Would you like her review of all 4 quarterbacks?
Yeah, sure.
Joe Flacco, most boring human being who's ever graced the planet.
Oh, man. She might have used that.
Pretty accurate.
She might have used that accolade too early. I felt like I had that feeling when you just named like 3 of those names, but okay.
She really likes Cam Ward, roots for him actively while they show game footage. And I have to say to her, I go, this is not live, right? It's not live. So games happen already. She thinks Jaden Daniels needs corrective lenses because she says he holds on to the ball too long. Ooh. I was like, easy with that. And she does not like Baker Mayfield. She doesn't like his me against the world attitude every second of the day. So that's pretty cool.
Does that come across? That comes across in the documentary as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love Baker. Everybody hates a Baker. You're too small. You can't do anything.
Tennis plays. They've all started. Well, they've all completed. One has started. We're up a set in the one that's going on. We lost on Veronika Erdjovic. She prevented the what could be the clean sheet today. She lost in straights to Romero Gormaz. So apologies on that one. But we did win on Panna Udvardi over Elena Pridunkina in straight sets. And we won. The big one was the dog, the plus 158 dog, Mai Hontama versus Diane Paris, your girl. Hontama with the big dog winner, not the huge dog winner, but a sizable dog winner. And then Jesper de Jong and Jan Schoinski, that got canceled. So that never happened. So Mokan right now up a set on Offner. So if we can get that one, it's a heck of a day at 3-1. And again, for those who are always expecting big dog plays, you will see that the rare Kelley Bydlon, the rare day where I had 2 minus 140 favorites.
Wow.
Going. Yeah. The numbers are the numbers, man. I thought those were going to be massively bigger favorites, and they were muted to that extent. So both Udvardi and Mokan were plays. We'll see if Mokan can get it home.
It's a great observation, though. It's impossible. I mean, it's impossible for me and you to be doing tennis and golf all season long like we are and not, have observations like that when they happen. But yeah, it's usually a lot of dogs with you, it feels like. Usually
a lot of dogs and then very short favorites. But here it extends. Value's value, like we said. Red Sox win their 14th in a row. We'll get into how they did it here after the break, and we'll talk about number 1 seeds and miss playoffs in Major League Baseball. But let me just say this at this point, Kelley. This is far beyond our 80-1 ticket for most wins in the month of July at this point. The Red Sox are playing for history today against the Orioles in trying to win their 15th straight. It would match a Boston Red Sox franchise record for longest winning streak. The franchise has been in existence since 1901. The only other time they won 15 in a row, 1946, when Ted Williams came back from World War II. We'll see if they can do it today. More on this on the other side. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The NFL preseason is only a couple weeks away, and the best bettors are already getting ahead. Lock in early bird pricing on our football special for just $175 before the price goes up next month. You'll get instant access to our 2026-27 NFL betting guide, plus our upcoming college football betting guide, giving you everything you need to attack futures, win totals, conference races, and the upcoming season before kickoff. And the sooner you sign up, the more value you get with full VSiN Pro access to everything we do across every sport through the Super Bowl. That includes daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, and 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. DJ Jams on Twitter wants to know, Gill, did you just knock out your promo reads live on air so you could hit the tennis court the second the show ended? That's working smarter, not harder. No, I actually still have to do it after the show, they tell me.
Yeah, I don't worry, DJ Jams. I was wondering the same thing if that's what he was planning, but I thought he knew he wouldn't be able to get away with that. And yes, apparently we can confirm that.
But I would like to move it up closer to the end of the show, not 15 minutes later. Thank you, DJ Jams. Thank you for your concern on that. All right, Red Sox last night. Listen, yes, we talk about this because we have the bet. 80-1, most wins in July. But at this point, whether we had the bet or not, Kelley, we'd probably be talking about this anyway.
Oh, sure.
Again, 14 in a row for the Red Sox. Last night, they win the first against the Orioles, which is significant for the July bet because the Orioles, along with the Brewers prior to last night, were the closest teams to the Red Sox win total. They were 3 back. And as I was talking about yesterday, potentially a sweep by the Orioles, right, would have tied them up. That's not going to happen anymore. It was 1-1 in the bottom of the third. I mean, the Red Sox it's amazing how they're doing this. Now, Wilyer Abreu, who has become Yordan Alvarez since the All-Star break, RBI double followed by a Wilson Contreras RBI single, was 3-1 Sox. And you figured this was just going to go as per usual. But top 6 after a Christian Encarnacion Strand solo shot to cut it to 3-2. Runners on first and second, Jeremiah Jackson with an RBI single off Peyton Tolley to tie it up 3-3. Then Encarnacion Strand with an RBI single to put the O's up 4-3 and chase Tolley. But then Abreu singled and Contreras doubled him home to start the bottom of the 6th, made it 4-4. It's amazing in these games and during the streak. Even if the Red Sox trail, the lead just disappears in a snap of a finger, but the lead by the other team. It's incredible. Top 7, runners on second and third, 1 out. Tyler O'Neill with a ground ball RBI to send Taylor Ward home. The Birds led it again for the 3rd time in this game, by the way. They're 1-0 also. This is 5-4 now, but bottom 7, Sung-Chae Cheng on second, 2 down. Sedan Rafaela, RBI single to tie it up at 5 apiece. And then here comes the part that makes the Red Sox just really, really dangerous. The 8-9. Garrett Whitlock comes in, 1-2-3, takes down the Rays, and then with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th, nobody on, Caleb Durbin, rocket ship over the monster, 6-5 Sox, just unbelievable. And then in the top of the 9th, as Aroldis has a want to do, sometimes it gets a little scary. 2 out, man on first. Chapman gives up a double to Gunnar Henderson. Runners on second and third. Tyler O'Neill at the plate. Looping liner to short. Caught by Chang. Ball game. 14 in a row. Again, the franchise record is 15, set in 1946 when after Ted Williams had missed 3 years because of war service, World War II. And that game yesterday, by the way, Kelley, I did not know this till this morning. That game yesterday, only the second time in MLB history in which 2 teams with winning streaks of at least 7 games each and combining for at least 20 consecutive wins played each other. Last time was 1884. You remember that game?
Oh, yeah, totally.
The St. Louis Maroons put their 12-game streak on the line against the Washington Nationals' 11-game winning streak. I had no idea. Here are your July numbers.
What was
Red
the year
Sox.
again? 18 what?
1884.
This is what I was going nuts about a couple weeks ago. Just who's passing this history along? It's great.
Tim Kirkjian,
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
Red Sox 14-1 now in the month of July. It is still a 3-win lead only over the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 11-6. They were the short shot pre-flop in July, said they were justifiably the short shot, but didn't like the number on them. The Red Sox moved to minus 575. They've got a 4-win lead over everybody else and more. 2 more against the Orioles. Then it's 3 against the Jays. Then it's 4 against the worst team in July, the Athletics, before they close the month with 1 game against the Dodgers. That schedule and the schedule they've already had is why they were the play at 80-1. Mm-hmm. So it's just been awesome. Kelley, if we look at number 1 seeds in playoff.
Real quick, Gill, I mean, if you didn't have a ticket, would there be a play here? I only ask it that way because, man, are we running out of days quick. This doesn't,
No, there is no play. Yeah. They're going to win this, man. They're going to win this. And minus 575 is still too high to get involved, even though I believe that with confidence. But look, 10 games is 10 games. Anything can happen. So it's always a non-zero chance, right? So you don't want to get too frisky with that. But the schedule is just what the schedule is. And this team has found offense, as I thought the Cubs would last month. And they kind of did, right? A dormant offense has kind of woken up. Certainly with the Red Sox, it has as well. But this is just a team that had been underperforming all year. And here they are doing this. Did I think they were going to win 14 in a row? Hails no. But thought that this uptick would happen. Can we do them to make the playoffs before we do number 1 seeds? Because I think this is really interesting. In the American League, to make the playoffs, Kelley, you have 6 teams at the top: Yankees, Rays, Mariners, Guardians, Rangers, Red Sox, where if the playoffs were to begin today, they would be your 6 playoff teams. Now, if we go to Fangraphs projections, those would also be your 4 playoff teams. Yankees are projected, you know what they say about projections, right? Yankees are projected to finish 89 and 73. Rays are projected to finish 88 and 74. Mariners at Fangraphs projected to win the West at 84 and 78. Obviously, the Rays would be a wild card to the Yankees in that case. The Guardians end up winning the Central per Fangraphs at 82 and 80. The Rangers end up getting in as a wild card from the West at 82 and 80. So, and then the Red Sox would be the last wild card at 83 and 79. So, what's the best play on the board per the Fangraphs projections and per what my handicap was with the Red Sox in July? I think it's the Red Sox. I think there's 2 categories here, right? There's to get a wild card. I think the Red Sox at minus 145 really is a great price. Now, after July, the schedule does get much tougher. So as I was saying yesterday, I don't think they're a bet to win the AL East, but I do think to make the playoffs is a great bet, and more cleverly to win the AL pennant is a great bet, because I think it's just flat earth in the American League. The other bets here that could be interesting, though, is the tight race in the AL Central, where I do think the Guardians are no lock. The White Sox at minus 135 projected to finish 1 game behind the Guardians at Fangraphs. And the Twinkies, who are 3-1, projected to finish 3 games behind the Guardians at Fangraphs at 79 and 83. They're a pretty interesting bet. So I think there's 2 ways to bet the American League, both wild card in general and then to win the AL Central, if that makes sense.
Yeah, is there I was thinking about one of those teams to pick on with like a no price, like the White Sox no is jumping out to me. Like it's just, if you don't win that division, you're right there, right? There's a chance that you have, a chance you don't make it in the wild card, or a very good chance you don't have a wild card spot available to you. But those 3 teams are so tight. It's just kind of figuring out which one you want to pick against.
I think what you just said, Kelley, is the smartest way to do this. We don't have it listed in this market, obviously, but if you can find no prices on, and they are readily available, because the difference between the team with the best record in the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays, at 57 and 42, and let's call it the 12th best team, is a difference in literally 12 games in the loss column. Like, it is that tight. If you just throw out the Angels, the Royals, and I guess the Athletics, those are the only 3 teams we'll throw out here. But the other 12 teams, they're all within 11 losses, all 12 teams, and there's 2 months plus of the season left. So I think there are some no's there, and maybe even, dude, there are some Yankees fans I know, Felica, Will Hill, they would consider betting the no on the Yankees to miss. That's how interesting this could get.
Yeah, we've had 1 or 2 of them that have, right? That they've already bet the no? I thought I've heard that.
I think maybe they have. National League, by the way, the National League equivalent, maybe not as interesting, but I will say this, based on Fangraphs projections, right now, the Pittsburgh Pirates would inhabit the 3rd and final wild card position. By the way, they are plus 180 to make the playoffs. So I think that's probably the bet. They've been an underperforming team most of the year. I think the Buccos at plus 180 is the obvious play here.
I think this is shaping up to be a fun race down the stretch, right? You got Marlins, Cardinals, Pirates, Diamondbacks, Nationals, kind of all in that hunt for that last spot. And it's really only going to be one up for grabs.
Yeah, and then for number 1 seed, throw all teams up in the air. In the American League, we talk about it later, but the National League, I still say it's the Brewers. I've said the Brewers every time with that. Literally 1.5 game better than the Dodgers at this point.
And they're still 4-1.
And they're 4-1. So I'd go Brewers. We'll talk about the AL number 1 a little later. Joe Sheehan might have some thoughts on that next on A Numbers Game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes. Cash in this football season in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Not 1, not 2, 3. Count them. 3. Entry starting at $1,000, all with no rake. That means every dollar stays in the prize pool. Circa Million, of course, 18 weeks, 128 ways to win. Circa Survivor, pick one winner each week. Last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo for the high rollers, $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere, 30 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details. Gill Alexander in San Francisco, Kelley Bydlon back in Vegas. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Patrick Kelley, if I'm looking that good on an 80-1, I'd get choked up too. Did I get choked up earlier? I don't know if I got choked up.
You were struggling a little bit. You're okay, though.
Oh, and was I really struggling?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that. And then Ben McGovern. You know what could stop the Red Sox, Kelley? This. He said, today the Red Sox are likely rained out. Weather forecast is terrible, hoping they schedule a doubleheader tomorrow. O's don't play in Boston for the rest of the season. So there's that.
Yeah, that's interesting. That could affect things.
Yeah, could affect things. And if nothing else, with a doubleheader, you're more likely to have your streak stopped. Again, 14 in a row, franchise record 15. And then Dell Mind the Gap Radio, a Yankees fan that'll agree with Yankees not making the playoffs, but they will trade George Lombard Jr. and other prospects for Mason Miller. That'll change my mind. I think George Lombard is their one untouchable prospect, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that. Ladies and gentlemen, he is kind enough to join us, as he does now every Tuesday on the show, and we appreciate it. He's the author of the Joe Sheehan newsletter. You can follow him on Twitter at Joe_Sheehan, and he has his stuff at joesheehan.com. It's Joe Sheehan, everybody. How you doing, Joe?
Good, Gilly. And I can tell you, Boston's going to get some weather today. We're going to get some here in the city. Philly's going to be a mess. It's going to be like this all week on the East Coast.
Uh-oh. Maybe we spoke too soon.
Yeah.
Can you imagine losing this on weather?
Oh, my gosh.
My God. Yeah. Well, let's start there. Did you see, now look, no one saw 14 games in a row. No one saw that coming. But did you see that this team was ripe for a turnaround?
Yeah, I almost told Danny Higgins, just run all my clips about talking about the Red Sox and how they were going to make the playoffs from back in May and June. Rather than come on, just run those clips. But no, I did think this team is having potential. And, what surprises me, though, is they haven't done it with the offense. I thought the offense was going to bounce back, and it's been better in recent days, but it's been about the pitching, and it's been about really one of the best defenses in the league. Their run prevention has been exceptional, and that's been the driving factor in this 14-game winning streak and in this run, too. Right now, they're a game and a half up for the third wild card, and they have a decent shot at catching the whoever comes out of the Central for the second wild card. So, this is a team that's actually playing to its potential now. We'll see if they get Crochet and Anthony back. None of the news coming out of those camps is particularly good at this point. But right now, we're not talking about. We're definitely not talking about the Red Sox as sellers. We're talking about them as a playoff team and how they can firm up that position.
Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday as well. Roman Anthony, Garrett Crochet, timeline still very murky on both of the Red Sox stars, both on the hill and at the plate. Trevor Story, Ranger Suarez, those guys more likely to come back a lot sooner here in the short term. Joe, Kelley and I went through make-miss playoff teams in the American League and National League last segment. We did the National League #1 seed briefly. I think the Brewers probably have the best value at 4-1. What we didn't get to was the American League #1 seed, and I'm glad you showed up for this, whether you want to be involved or not. There are the odds on the screen. This is the most flat earth league I can ever remember at this point in a season. Where would you, if I said to you, Joe, you must make a bet here for the #1 seed, the eventual #1 seed in the American League, where does your money go?
Gil, sorry, you're breaking up. Can't hear you, buddy. Sorry. There's no clear answer here because, earlier in the year, the Yankees got off to the great start. They looked dominant. The Rays for a while looked dominant. All of these teams are pretty flawed right now. I think based on the rosters, the Mariners are probably the best team in this league, but they're pretty far back in the race, and they got a tough schedule coming in. And I mentioned schedule because you look at the Guardians, they're at 15-1. If you look at remaining schedules, not only do the Guardians have the easiest schedule of all the contenders in this league, They have the easiest schedule in baseball by about 15 points of projected winning percentage. So I don't think much of them, but you look at the offensive changes. Travis Bazzana coming up midseason, Chase DeLauder coming up at the start of the year. This isn't quite as bad an offense as it's been in recent years. And you look at, Jose Ramirez should eventually be coming back as well. So if I had to make a bet here, and mercifully I don't, that's a thing to remember. You don't have to make any particular bet. But I might go with the Guardians here, even though they're, I believe, 7 back, just because of the soft schedule, the likelihood of getting Ramirez back, and the fact that it is a better offense than we've typically seen from them.
Yeah. And even as a guy who has a pre-flop season win total under on them, I find myself nodding. Like, if you're going to make a bet here, you might as well take a longer shot or a middling shot like that for sure. And then the postseason becomes just fascinating because that's its own set of free-for-all, where I do think then the Red Sox, if they can get in, emerge as one of these interesting teams where it's like, well, if you got 8-9 with Whitlock and Chapman and you can just shorten these to 7-inning games, your offense keeps sort of crescendoing. Who knows, right? It's that interesting in this league.
Well, the apple cart's going to get upset over the next 2 weeks. The trade deadline is actually 2 weeks from today. I think it's fascinating to see the teams that, as of today, we don't know where they're going to go. What are the Nationals going to do? What are the Cardinals going to do? What are the Twins going to do? But I do think we can say the Red Sox now are going to go out and add. These teams at the top of the board here that we're looking at, the Yankees, they're going to add, probably not George Lombard for Mason Miller, hopefully, but go out and maybe get an extra. But one of the things, you look at the Rays, you look at the Guardians, they're not typically teams that go out and make a big addition at the trade deadline. The Rays' big move last year was that kind of strength for strength move, the Taj Bradley for Griffin Jax trade. The Guardians, I can't remember. I think their last big pickup was Josh Donaldson in, what was that, 1976 or whenever they traded for him. So
yes, 76, I think, yeah.
These very good teams are led by front offices that are typically very passive at the deadline.
All right, we're just talking about the Pirates in the National League right now. They inhabit the third. Well, they don't quite inhabit yet the third playoff position in the National League. They are just on the outside of that looking in, but by some measurements like Fangraphs, they are expected to inhabit the third wild card when all is said and done. You have a play on them today in the Bronx.
I do. I like their offense a lot. This is a team that's second in baseball in weighted runs created against right-handed pitching. The number tonight is over 4.5 at plus money at FanDuel. They're going up against Will Warren, who, Warren's off to a very good start this year. He's been basically a number 3, number 4 starter, but throughout his career, an 800 OPS and out against lefties. This year, 790. So even in his good year, he's been touched up by lefties. I like the Pirates to get over that number tonight. I mentioned earlier the weather here. It's going to be muggy. It's going to be nasty. And, counterintuitively, the ball travels better in wet air. I know it took me years to get my head around this, but the ball travels better in wet air. Should be a good hitting night for in the Bronx. And I like the Pirates to get over that number.
I picture an image of you pondering that subject. How is this happening? In wet air, this ball is going far. We joked all last year, Joe, when the Dodgers seemingly kept the Padres 3 back the entire season. It's starting to feel like those vibes in the NL East this year with the Braves and the Phillies. Braves have exactly a 3-game lead over the Phillies. Braves are hosting the Padres. You have a play in this one.
Yeah, that Drake Baldwin game the other day really answered some questions. The Braves offense has been so bad for so long that, they getting him back and getting him back on track has been important for them. So I think I picked with Kelley last week. I gave out the Braves at plus 900 to miss the playoffs, and I'll stand by that. But certainly tonight, going up against Walker Buehler, who had a decent run in May and June, but just fundamentally isn't the pitcher he was a few years ago. He's more of a junk baller now. Guys, his fastball's being hit. 395 batting average, 630 slugging. You haven't seen numbers like that since I was pitching in the Bronx Federation in 1989. So give me the Braves first 5 to stay out of the bullpens at minus 132 over the Padres tonight.
What was your go-to pitch in the Bronx Federation, Joe?
I had that Bugs Bunny changeup. Unfortunately, it was my fastball.
That's such a great image. Who could forget the Bugs Bunny changeup? All right, and then a couple totals to round it out. You got the Reds Mariners under, and then a game that had tons of runs yesterday. You're going back to the over in the Dodgers Phillies.
Yeah, the under in Seattle is kind of playing the park in the history. Luis Castillo's made 5 starts at home this year. They're 4-1 to the under. If you look at the last 2 years, it's 17-10 to the under when he starts at home. Chase Burns lost a little bit at the end of the first half, but this long rest that he's gotten to his next start over the break, I think is going to help him out a lot. I don't see how these teams get to 8 runs tonight. It's 7.5 right now, and I would not be surprised if it was 7 by game time.
All right. And then Dodgers-Phillies?
Yeah, the Phillies are just terrible against left-handed pitching this year. 28th in the league in weighted on base. We saw Trey Turner get hit 2 homers last night, but you look at what they've gotten out of Alec Boehm, what they've gotten out of Edmundo Sosa this year. They're just not a team that hits left-handers. And on the other side, you've got Zach Wheeler. I mentioned the weather here on the East Coast. I'm kind of got a little bit against that here, but give me the under 9.5. Excuse me, you guys have it at 8.5 now in this game. Justin Robleski for the Dodgers and Zach Wheeler for the Phillies.
Joe, thank you so much. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, guys.
Joe Sheehan, everybody, the author of the Joe Sheehan newsletter. Again, check it out at Joe Sheehan, or Joe_Sheehan on Twitter, I should say. Football matchups next.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on the numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas, in the case of Mr. Kelley Bydlon. I am in San Francisco, Gill Alexander. We did get a tweet about this, Kelley, right here this morning. Brian Young, Notorious Guns. Wait, he says, did Gill move to San Francisco without Kelley Bydlon?
Oh, man.
No.
We should have built up that drama way more. We should. I didn't even think about this. Like, we should have built this up way more.
Oh, we should have just made up a story.
Right, yeah. Gill was moving the show to San Francisco. I refused to go with him. It became really awkward. We didn't know we were on the verge of splitting up completely, and then we just decided that one of us would do the show from here.
No, I come from I actually never left here, really. I just sort of hang out in Vegas during the week. I come from let's see if you agree with this, Kelley. I come from a long line. This is one of the great VSiN sub-histories. I come from a long line of VSiN California hosts who refuse to leave California. Patrick Maher is our godfather in this, but shouts out to Danielle Alvari and Joe Serralo for being of the same mind that I am. Yeah, we're all the same. Yep. We're all snobs.
Patrick Maher led that wave, that's for sure.
Yes, he did.
There's plenty of you guys that have felt the same way.
Betting, it's like Danielle said to me, she goes, Gil, they don't understand. I'm not negotiating. I'm not leaving here. Betting X factors. Flying into Vegas in August to enter my first Circa contest. Any proxy you guys would recommend? First time using one. Well, the official proxy of VSiN is Winner's Circle proxy, Kelley. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you go. Winner's Circle proxy. You had a proxy question from last night that somebody tweeted in?
Yeah, this is from DJ Connick, and he was asking a bunch of us at the network. Here's stories of Proxy saving clients who didn't make picks, but what happens if Proxy submits a wrong pick or doesn't submit a pick? Does the player have any recourse? No,
I believe the answer to that is no, you do not. Yeah, you have no recourse.
You are paying them and entrusting them to do their job, and that's their job, is to get the right pick in on time.
Yeah, that's why you got to pick the right proxy.
You do. I don't know about you, but I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it's a little surprising that I've not heard. I can't remember a single story that I've heard from someone about a horrible proxy situation where they didn't get something in.
Well, not with any of the official vocation by vocation.
This is what I'm
services.
talking. I'm talking about these services that run it as a company.
There was a time over a decade ago. He's going to kill me for bringing up this story, but I did it with this was 2014 or 2013. I can't remember the year exactly. It was whatever year the Red Sox won the World Series. So what's that? That was 2014, I believe. Yeah. So I had my buddy do it. I won't say his name. I had my buddy do because I wasn't living in Vegas, and he just plumb forgot to put them in. 2013, pardon me. 2014, of course, was the San Francisco Giants, for God's sakes. 2013 was the Red Sox. He just forgot to put him in, and the reason I knew that he forgot is because apparently the Westgate at the time published I don't know if they did this forever, but they published what everybody's picks were and who didn't get their picks in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had people tweeting me even then, "Oh man, sorry you didn't get your picks in." And I'm like, "Oh no."
And you probably
he said,
probably right away you were like, "Oh, I got them in. They were in. They got in."
No, that's exactly what I said. I said, "What do you mean?" Of course I had him in. He felt so bad, dude. He felt so bad. He's like, "I bet you're going to go 5-0." And of course I went 5-0 on those picks. Of course. It's like the biggest lock ever. And he said, "I'll pay for your whole entry." And I said, "No, you will pay for half of it. I will pay for half of it because I was the one stupid enough to pick you to be my proxy." So we split it.
I like it. This is not the same on the same level of even close to a proxy like you just said, but I'll never forget having a couple buddies out here one weekend. This is probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And it was a big UFC weekend. And you know how I am with UFC. I get locked in for like the bigger fights, right? But like one of my friends, he's a big UFC bettor. So, but he's not from Vegas. And we're like hanging out on Saturday, and we were here for Circa for a while. And he just keeps yelling. He's like, "Hey, Kelley," once he figured out like apps, this is apps, right? Like just we're coming around in Vegas. And he didn't have to go up to the window every time. He could just ask me to put a bet in, right? I got so sick of it by bet like 4. I was just like, we had left here. I was like, "Here, just take my phone. Just take my phone. Here's the Circa app. Like, put in whatever. We'll deal with it later," right? And the first bet he goes to enter, Gill, I hear a "uh-oh." And I'm like, "Well, look, that can't be good. What does an uh-oh mean when someone's put a bet in on your phone, right?" One extra zero was involved in the bet size. So he had to sweat that out for the night, and luckily he won.
Oh, man. Jeez. You will, if you were around long enough, these things will happen.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. It's only math. It's only mathematically likely at that point. So we were, oh, by the way, this last one, I have to read this one. Eric Biggio, our buddy over at William Hill Caesars, who was so kind to tweet us when markets are up so that we know before, the general public will know. He is trying. I don't know. He's killing me with this. He goes, "Morning, guys. I hadn't listened to the show in a while. Great job by you and the loyal listeners getting in on this epic run of the Red Sox. I try not to congratulate someone on their bet until the clock hits 0, but you're in great shape. Well done." And he has a massive image of a Boston Red Sox July 2026 champions t-shirt. So this is not appreciated, Eric. I love you, but come on, man.
I see what's going on here, Biggio. I see what's going on here. You got that sweet 80-1 over there, Gill, right? And he's now Biggio's sweating. He's sweating for a first time in a while.
Killing me, man.
Yeah.
So we're going to do an NFC. We're going to talk about the NFC East a little later on the show because we are now that the World Cup is behind us. We're going to get into football, of course, our football in earnest, more on a daily basis. Not that we haven't already. We talk college football with Mike Montesano later on the show. Drew's going to come up. We'll get some NFL out of him, hopefully. But we are, you and Danny are scouring books, and DraftKings has matchups between two NFL teams. And we're like, "Oh, this is going to be sweet. We're going to be able to bet all these different matchups in the NFL with season wins." They've done this before. It's not a new thing, but they only have 3 matchups up. Did we determine why this? I think Danny came up with why these are up, right?
Yeah. Coaching changes.
And it's coaching changes. And it's also coaches playing their former team more specifically. That's what these are. Got it. Okay. So this is, by the way, do they even suggest that that's what it is? No, you just have to figure that on your own. That's why they're up.
Yes.
Yes. It's Kevin Stefanski of the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Browns in season win total matchup. The Cowboys and Pittsburgh and Mike McCarthy taking on the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy's most recent head coaching gig was there in Dallas. And then John Harbaugh of the Giants taking on the Baltimore Ravens. In terms of season win total matchups. So the nice part about this, though, Kelley, is I think these are properly priced in terms of who's the favorite and by how much. Falcons a slight favorite over the Browns, Cowboys a slight favorite over the Steelers, Ravens pretty massive favorite over the Giants, but they have a draw. They have a tie price. Do those interest you?
I hate that it's a 3-way market. I really wish they would just make these 2-way markets. It feels like nobody's going to go bet the tie, right? It just feels like an extra out for the book to scoop up a little bit of money, and it kind of bothers me. There was one that jumps out to me here. Falcons, I would lay minus 140 over the Browns. I know it might not look like that crazy huge difference in win totals and what these teams are rolling with into the season, but yeah, there's concerns at quarterback for the Falcons. I've got a lot of trust in that skill position groups. I think that defense going to come along a little bit more here, and I've got major concerns for this Browns team this year that I think could very well be the worst team or one of the worst teams in the NFL. So that's actually one I would be interested in. The other two I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, I think if you forced me to bet these, I would bet the draw, right? Because those are the only numbers that I like on any of these. But I don't think I'd bet any of these three anyway. I'd wait for some more of these. The Falcons, going back to yours of the Falcons and the Browns, just to sort of be more specific about it. The Falcons what's their season win total? 6.5, right? With the over slightly juiced.
Yeah.
The Browns are 5.5 with the over even more juiced than that, minus 130. So by the season win total preflop number, it's, I don't know, maybe a slight bit of value on the Brownies, if anything, based on just that. But I'm with you on the Falcons. You ultimately think it's Tua day one, as I do, right?
Yeah, most likely. Cowboys, Steelers tie. Like if I had to play one of these, that would be it. Cowboys, Steelers tie. Ravens, Giants. I don't know what the Giants, I think, got a wide range of outcomes this season. Ravens, I think they're going to be good. I'm not running late minus 500, though, in a single matchup bet with them.
By the way, we'll get into this because we'll do the NFC East later, but I was reading the Giants write-up by Mike Tanier and the FTN and Aaron Schatz's FTN Football Almanac. And one of the sentences, it's just one of the sentences was, they got some great skill position players. Malik Neighbors, though, might be a diva. And Cam Scatterbo, we're finding out, might be a doofus.
Oh, God, yeah.
That kind of insight,
Backflips.
which we'll get into. Backflips at the Fanatics Mensa convention. Yeah. All right. Coming back, Drew Dinsick on all kinds of sports, including the NFL. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.